Recording in 3, 2, 1, and welcome back to That Karate Podcast. As always, we have Mark Slattery, Sean McLaren.
Hiya guys, how you doing?
And our special guest this week is Bob. What the hell is on your forehead, Sean?
It is a spot that just came to light.
God.
Yes, along with that one, I had one underneath my eye. Last week we done some filming for my club to make a little advert, and the day of the filming, there's this big white head that just pops up right underneath my eye.
Nice, that was attractive. That's lovely.
Yes, it was. So I'm excited to see how good they can filter that out.
We want to thank Bob for coming along today and joining us for today's interview. It wasn't me that named it Bob. It was Mark. Mark named the Bob. He gave it.
It's just an easy name, isn't it?
We don't
How long
have
have you been training, Bob? How long have you been training? What got you started?
What's your motivation, Bob?
He just wants to rise to the top.
I can't believe you watched it. Right, okay. We don't have a guest this week. We just decided we've had a busy few weeks. Sean just gets hand in his forehead there. We've had a busy few weeks with some cracking guests on. I've really enjoyed the last few weeks getting to some people we already knew, but you get to know their kind of background, their history, etc. But we thought this week we would treat you just to us. And I know it's Sean kind of put out on our page to ask people what any questions they wanted to ask and they want us to cover. So Sean says there's questions, which always makes me nervous. We like asking them. I'm sure we like answering them. So we'll pass you to you, Sean. Let you and Bob get this started.
Can I just butt in before we start? Because before this, we said that if I said the word tough, and was it amazing or something like that? Or
you're not allowed to say so tough or amazing. Sean is not allowed to say
M or okay.
M or okay. And I'm not allowed to speak, apparently.
No, that's not the words we used before it was out.
No, that was not the words we used before it.
But if we do say it, please, if you say late night watching it, take a shot of anything.
Unless you're a child, in which case do not take a shot.
Ribena or fruit shoot.
And if you're a child, why are you listening to us?
Anyway.
A shot with we enjoy.
So we'll get started today. We're going to have a wee chat just in general.
That's number one.
What?
10 press ups.
You just said eh.
I said today.
I'm sure I heard.
Right, that just went off the rails very quickly because I don't have a guest.
Calm down, Liam. Calm down. All right.
Okay.
Not a competition.
Okay. So guys, we're going to have a general chat today anyway, but we're going to get started on some of the questions. So I put out just from the Karate Podcast page, anyone to get any questions that we would like to ask. So there's a couple of really good ones. Somebody was asking about the bunkai that was performed at the WKF Euros last weekend. Now that is one of the topics that we will talk about today as well. But there's a couple of more kind of serious ones. Annette Sharp Sensei suggested, what is the best age to start training in karate? So we'll come to you first, Liam, since you don't often get to go first. What is the best age to start training in karate?
I don't think there is a best age. What you're looking for, if you want to compete, you want to go to that. Obviously, the younger you start, the better. But I don't think there's a set age. I think you can approach karate at any age group and get a benefit from it, don't you? If you're talking competitively, then you still compete in your 50s. There's sections for that kind of thing. But I get the question, but I genuinely don't think there's a specialist age group. The younger you get started, the better. But sometimes I think people start really young these days, and then they flame out between they're 13 and 14, and then they come back 10 years later thinking they can still do the things they did 10 years previous. I see that sometimes. But no, even then, but they're still coming back in and they're still coming back to training and they're still going to get benefits from it and they can still recover their training. So I don't think there is a set time. I think my favourite one, which is maybe a bit off topic, is, I don't know if you've had it, guys, you speak to somebody and go, I want to get fit first. You're like, but
just go for a jog, mate.
We do that. No, but I want to go. I want to go to the gym first and get fit before I come to karate. And you're like,
Yeah.
But we do that. You don't need to do that. Like fitness and strength training and flexibility and cardiovascular is part of what we teach.
Yeah.
But that tends to be people a bit older who feel that physically they're not up to the training. But
so as a gentleman over 70, Liam, do you feel that you can still continue training?
Some days.
You've been doing a lot of PT work, haven't you? So
yeah, I've been doing that just to try and keep me motivated, just to try and keep me going. Yeah, I'm doing a lot of stuff alongside the karate just to kind of for maintenance, because I'd like to try and get another year of competition. I was wanting to finish my competitions last year and pack it in then, because I've been holding on by my fingernails the last couple of years anyway. But I still wanted to do another year and try and go out in a guy where I feel I can still do it honestly.
Yeah. Do they have sections for 70 plus?
They do the worlds, aye. And they kick your ass, mate.
You started that, Liam. You mentioned Bob. I didn't think you was going to do that, so that's his revenge now. Yeah, I've seen your class plan then for your PT lessons. They look brutal. They do look brutal, man.
There's much swearing. There is much swearing at the time, and my PT takes the same joy in my tortures I take in torturing my squad guys. So it's just it just kind of follows down. I do think that, you know, if you're still want to do certain things, then you need to work on your fitness and stuff. But just general hobbyist karate training, you don't need to be any age. Just come in, you know, just give it a bash.
What about yourself, Mark?
What with regards to the question of what age you think you should start?
Yes, just
I think probably from an instructor perspective, I mean, it's quite tricky. In my dojo, I teach them from 5 to 6 years. I know that both of you have your mini ninjas, your wee ninjas, but I think it depends what sort of instructor. I don't have a lot of patience, so I mean, I tried it once or twice, and it's really hard. So I see how I avoided the word tough there.
Okay. So take a shot, people.
I did. I did. But I mean, I normally teach my kids from 5 to 6. I just think it's a really good age that they absorb a lot of information, and and they're fun as well. So I think any younger than that is a bit tricky for my style of teaching, I feel. But what about you, Sean?
I don't think there's a best age to start. You know, I've got students that started late in their 50s and have just started and hope to go for their black belt at some point next year. So I don't think there's any age. I started when I was 7. My little brother started when he was 5. My daughter started when she was 4. I think as you kind of touched on it, Liam, it just depends on what you're looking to get out of it. If you just want to train just for the sake of training, then there's no specific age. If you want to compete, obviously a bit younger to get used to the system. But yeah, any age you can still work your way through the grades and still definitely learn and improve your fitness no matter what.
I think it was not last year, but it was Sarah Queen Sensei. She had a couple of lady students who were, and if I'm saying the wrong age, ladies, I apologise, were in their 70s.
Yeah.
And achieved Shodan. And I don't know if you maybe she used to work those ladies during the day. And you'd go up to Dunfermline to pick up suits or to catch up with stuff, and you'd see them working away and they're training away.
Yeah.
You know, and they're in there. Are you expecting them to do like jump, spin, reverse? Well, it's not in karate anyway. It's not, you know. So they will love their training. They get stronger and fitter and healthier out of it. They get friendships out of it. They get and they achieve black belt. So, you know, I think that's fine. Are they going to go to the World Championships? Probably not. But that's competitive karate.
Yeah.
As you say, just come along and training and just find something you love and you enjoy. And I don't think there should ever be an age on that.
No.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I do my kind of advertising for the club, and it's kind of like all ages and ability, and I believe that. Yeah. I believe that karate is for all ages and ability. The only time it falls down is not age and ability; it's mindset. If you come in with the right attitude and you come in, you know, want to really give it a bash and give it a go and really commit to it, I think that can be a problem, but not You know, we all adapt our training. I'm sure we all have to people of different kids, maybe learning difficulties or issues or behavioural problems or people with physical issues, or it is adaptable.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think that's one of the really good things for karate that is for everybody. Even in competing as well, you've got separate sections as well, which is great. Different age sections. I know there's a masters section for you, Liam, as well. So yeah, I think it's.
What's Bob's thoughts on it?
Bob's thoughts. Let me ask him. He said any age you can rise. You can rise to the
Put him on the spot there.
Hey, folks, thank you very much for joining us.
Karate, stay for the comedy.
Yeah, so guys, with regards to that question, again, with all these questions, I'm moving on. I'm not happy. With all these questions, obviously, let me hear. Liam's gone.
You're quite proud of that one. I know you're quite proud of that one.
Okay, right, come on. We need to have a guest on because otherwise we just go downhill very fast.
That's the conversation before we even pressed record on this was like we'd just be shut down. We'd just be like, YouTube would not that there's any money in this lark anyway, but we'd just been shut down and demonetized and stuck in the bin. And
yeah, so we've got another question on the page, guys. We'll kind of move on to that and then we'll get on with our kind of chat for the day. So another one's another kind of personal one is taking a route back to training after a long layoff due to illness and or injury, especially for the older karateka. So kind of what's your thoughts on that? Kind of what's the best way to do it, and kind of just any kind of tips? A personal taking a route back to training after a long layoff due to illness and or injury.
I think just what Liam said there, just positive mindset, really. If you've got your mind right that you want to go back into it, guns blazing, I think that's just the best way to do it. Just go in there, be realistic with your training. If you haven't done it for a long time, just go in there, but just do your best. Just do your absolute best. Take it steady and just build yourself back up to where you were, if not better. I think that's the best way of doing it. What do you think, Liam?
I think I'll throw in the legality. Make sure your doctor's on board with it. Make sure you're medically considered fit to do it. And as you said, be realistic in your training. Just get back in. The hardest thing is the psychological battle. I think after, I don't know if I've had injuries in the past, and I'm sure you guys have. I'm not sure about Bob, but I've had injuries in the past, and it's kind of difficult sometimes psychologically coming back to it and getting the right mindset. And as you say, it's about pacing yourself.
Yeah.
If you come in thinking you can do what you did before, you're guaranteed you're going to be off for a bit longer. It's just come in and with a realistic expectation. Speak to your instructor. Trust your instructor's advice. Listen to what they've got to say. And let your instructor know as well. It's communication is key. If there's no communication, if your instructor just has no clue and you're just coming in trying to brave it and the whole ego bit, I'm fine.
When have you been for the last year? Right.
Yeah, give it a bit. Just let them know, and they'll be able to scale the training to you. Because we're used to dealing with people with different skill sets, abilities. As you said, a little bit maybe learning difficulties or physical issues. Blah blah. We're used to dealing with that, so that's not. That's what we're there for. So listen to your instructor and trust your instructor, and be realistic.
I think that's good. Yeah, be realistic and positive mindset. And myself, I had a wee injury. I've had it for years now, but you kind of want to get back to the same place you were, and you think you're just going to step back in and that's it, suit back on, and you go back to the same you were before the injury. But as I said, you just need to kind of pace yourself, be realistic, and continue with that positive mindset. I think the guys touched on it perfectly there.
Have you to relate into that? Have you gents had any time off like that? I remember I was about 17, 18. I just had like 18 months of karate. I just thought, that was it, done. And then I come back and then realise everyone was just faster, better, different grades, and it was just difficult to keep up at the beginning. But when
I trained like a lunatic during my teens, like constant. It was my.
Oh, just a while ago then.
But when I started working, the type of work I went into was not productive for training. So I kept my training going, but I wouldn't say I wouldn't say I was training, if that makes sense. So if I wasn't training 3 hours a week, I didn't consider I was training. And that's a minimum. So like do 3 sessions a week. So I was training with mates when I had time off. I was going to clubs, I was visiting clubs, and I tried different styles. I did different stuff just to keep training,
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't grade for 12 years. So I showed that in Eden was like 12 years before I graded. And it didn't bother me. It doesn't bother me, that the fact that I didn't.
Yeah.
I saw some people that were grading at the same time as me, and you were like, oh my God, because it then put in perspective how much time you hadn't really. Does that make sense? I wasn't kind of pushing towards the gradings, etc. And I was like, oh my God, that guy's like 5th dan now, 4th dan now. And I'm like, hello, down the shallow end,
Yeah.
But then, when I threw myself, I was in a position to throw myself back into it. It was brilliant, but I don't think my ego got hit by it, because I think I kind of understood I had to make a choice at the time.
Definitely. Was that an injury, Mark, that you took 18 months off for?
Nah, I just passed my test. I had a car, I had a bit of freedom, so I just went crazy. Went downhill.
You went downhill for 18 months. I went downhill for 10 years, mate. So you did that. The injuries I've had in the last kind of decade, I've been having to teach at the same time.
Yeah.
So, I did my if I was like cracked ribs are just like a normal Tuesday, but you just go back to training because you'll get slagged if you don't, You get, I've got really sand. TikTok.
I remember you sending a video, Liam, of that. I think it was when Phil Manning Sensei come up and he had one of these massage guns.
I swear that's what it was.
Can you describe it for us?
We were actually. I'm trying to remember where it was. Phil and I went training actually. No.
Is it with the dinosaur outfit?
Training. I went up to HQ in Dunfermline. So he was at my dojo training for the weekend, just catching up, just talking nonsense for the weekend, going for a drink. And we trained at dojo, and I'd actually done my hamstring quite badly. I'd kind of tweaked it at top and bottom, kicked somebody in the head. As somebody taller, which isn't difficult, most people are, but I went to my tippy toes and didn't make it, and boop. And then he turned up and he had this box with him, and I was like, and he opened this box up with this massage, and I hadn't seen one before, and I went, I think our friendship's about to take a strange turn here. I think we need to have a chat. It just brought this massage gun. I was like, yeah, you think? No, it's great bit of kit. I'm sure it is. Positive it is. Keep over there.
Keep away from me.
Yeah. at least sanitize it first. If you public, I don't think we can post today's, can we? I think this is a bad idea. Anyway, so he then showed me how it worked, and then I had a shot, and I bought one next day. So yeah.
What did you rate it out of 10?
A brilliant bit of kit. Honestly, all joking aside, I get a decent one there. Honestly, if you're training a lot and you can't get the money at the time, go to a physio every week. And when you get to a certain age, the injuries the wee tweaks they don't go away overnight anymore. Yeah. So it's a cracking bit of kit.
I bought one as well. They're brilliant.
No, I do highly recommend one. I actually, one of the trips to Japan, I tweaked. I hurt my leg. I think this is not long after actually he was up. To be honest, it's the same injury, and I was going to take it to Japan, and I went, I don't really want to have that conversation at customs.
Didn't you buy your oil as well?
I didn't really want to go to Narita Airport, and they were like, I went, yeah, I'll just leave it. I'll just stretch off and just do what I can.
Didn't you buy yours with oil as well? Is it magnesium oil? It's quite a good thing.
Magnesium oil, cracking bit of kit.
Yeah.
Magnesium oil is amazing stuff. Don't drink it, people. Magnesium oil is if you're doing like heavy training and you're just for muscle recovery and stuff, like magnesium oil, I highly recommend it. Some people have a reaction to it. So you can have a spray it on your arm or something to see if it's all right, to see if you don't take a reaction to it. But magnesium oil, I don't know if you guys have used it for recovery.
Yeah, I get like a funny tingling with it.
With the oil?
That's what I got with a massage gun.
Yeah.
Listen, Bob doesn't approve of the way this conversation.
Bob does not approve.
Oh.
But yeah, that took a dark turn, that. But yeah, but honestly, as you can adapt your training. I can still train, like I can still stand next to you guys and train, although you're younger than me and still. But I just need to, maintenance is important now. Whereas beforehand, you just burn your body out, get up 2 days later, and it's fine. I just need to maintain and just take better care of it. You know? I feel in some ways my karate is better than it's ever been. I feel it's worse than others, but in some ways, I feel it's better than it's ever been.
Let's be honest, it couldn't get any worse.
Well, that's your opinion, then, yes, sir.
I'm allowed to have an opinion because I saw how crap I was before. So
anyway, good. Awesome. Right, so that was all the questions for today. There was 2 questions.
God, is that it?
If you ever have any questions, then please send them in regarding the kind of topic or a question for a guest that we're going to have, or again, any suggestions for guests, then please let us know. You want to move on to the kind of Olympic stuff, or?
No, I'm scared. Carry on.
We change the conversation off karate now. Can we talk about something else?
You're fed up. Fed up with karate.
Okay. You want to talk about the Olympic stuff, guys?
Yeah, we'll talk about the weekend there. Did you manage to catch any of the comp of the weekend? I know you were watching it, Sean. You posted what looked like a cup of tea with your feet up watching karate.
Yeah, it was great. It was
that's your usual training regime every week, to be honest.
A cup of coffee in the morning.
There's Liam, his massage gun, and there you with a cup of tea, Sean.
Cup of coffee.
It's actually broken. I broke my massage gun.
A cup of coffee, watching it on TV. It was good. Just YouTube. It was great to actually watch it and stream. It was good. Watching the committee and stuff, I really enjoyed that. But yeah, so obviously it was that first competition, or the last competition before the qualifiers for the Olympics. So just to give people, listeners, a wee bit of kind of depth in what we're going to kind of talk about. So the Olympics is coming August. I think it's August for karate. Is that right? 2020 August. I think so. Yeah, I think it's August. It starts. 40 athletes have already qualified for the karate. So the 32 places were allocated to the 4 highest ranked athletes per gender in each of the Olympic karate categories. Now, the Olympic categories have kind of changed a wee bit from the normal. I think we kind of condensed them a little bit. Japan was allotted 8 athletes, 1 per category. So you've got your male kata top athletes like Damien Quintero and Ryo Kiyuno. Female kata, you've got Sandra Sanchez and Vivian Botara from Italy, other top athletes as well. Under 67, you've got Stephen Da Costa and Angelo Crescenzo, sorry. And so all these top guys have qualified already kind of from the WKF rankings. But on the 11th to the 13th of June in Paris, there's going to be the last kind of wild card Olympic qualifications. So there'll be another 24 places available from there. All right. Another 12 will be given to some people from different continents to allocate continental representation. So I've done pretty well to say that. And then another 4 karateka will book their tickets to Tokyo through a tripartite commission invitation placings. So that'll be the full 80 karateka, 40 women. 40. So they get invited because they're cool.
You tell me is neither you or Bob have any clue.
So 4 people get invited, and 5th to the 7th of August 2021 at the Nippon Budokan. Medals will be awarded on each competition day, and so 60 in committee and 20 people competing in kata. So kind of looking forward to that. It'll be great to watch.
It's good. I'm hoping. I mean, I know there's some the BKF announced the UK athletes were going. It's like there's a couple of Scottish guys going as well. One that's not going, that surprised me. But yeah, it's good. We've got, I mean, Scotland's got represented. England's obviously well represented because there's more of you. But yeah, it's good. I'm hoping we've got a couple of British athletes in there, or at least one would be really nice. I don't know how likely it is, but I think they're up against it. But that's a whole different show. I don't think they get anywhere near the financial support they need and sponsorship they need to be able to do it to the standard they need to do it at.
Do you guys know if those that are already competed are allowed to compete at this competition in Paris, or are they not allowed to compete because they're already placed?
I don't know the score. I genuinely don't know the setup for that.
But I was just kind of curious to see, obviously, the weekend there in the final for the males under 75 was Rafael Agiev and Stanislav Haruna, with Haruna winning. So I'm just wondering if they two guys push to the final, then does it just kind of drop down, or I was just kind of curious to see.
I genuinely don't know, and that's something that winds me up a bit because it's not as clear as it should be. Yeah. Did you see the final? Did you watch the fight?
The committee, yeah, it was class. It was really good because it was right there last.
I was actually teaching a committee class at the dojo, and I actually had it live streaming on the telly, and I just stopped the class.
Yeah,
I wanted to see that match.
It was a really good final because it was right to the very end, and a nice kick to finish it off as well.
Yeah, it was a nice. It wasn't flagged though, which surprised me.
That's what I was talking. Me and my wife Ashley was watching it, and she wasn't obviously sure what was happening, and she's like, "Why are they stopping?" And I said, "Now they've introduced kind of like a VAR kind of idea now into the top, which is good because we watched a couple of female fights as well with a nice Mawashigiri that scored and a couple of punches." And for those guys that don't know, the coach is allowed to do kind of flag a card and let them know they wanted a video review once per match. So they can only use it once per match. And they've got a separate set of judges or referees that sit behind the scenes and watch footage. And if the referees think it's a score, then they'll score it. It will kind of overrule those guys that are on the mat. So it's just good because obviously being on the format, you're only kind of human. It's good to kind of have that backup. And obviously in the final there, it won Haruna the final because the coach VR'd the card and they said it was scored, whereas the four judges never scored it at all. So it was good. It's pretty interesting, to be fair. I know it's kind of controversial when it comes to kind of football, but I think for the karate, it was good to kind of see.
At that level, I think you have to. I think when there's so much at stake at that level, I think that kind of thing, I don't think you're going to get that at Penrith. You know what I mean? So, but
time in the day for that in Penrith.
We'll be there for a week and a half. But yeah, I think at that level, when there's that much at stake, I think it's an essential thing. I think it does kind of. Yeah, I need to be careful because I'm an old dude, so I'm aware the world is moving on. But but it was always a great fight. It's great to see like Agiev doing so well, and he's such a powerhouse. Yeah. Even at his advanced years, which is hard to say because he's younger than I am, but
well younger, half your age.
Oh. What?
I think he's half your age.
Oh, how old do you think I am?
Mark, do you want to chip in here?
I didn't watch it, I'm afraid. I was working. So
we'll talk about Liam's age, not chipping out of the crack.
Oh, sorry.
Cut me open and count the rings. Yeah, no, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the competition. I enjoyed the spectacle of it. I think it was good that it's live streamed as well because then it's transparent. You can see what's going on, and younger athletes can kind of tap into it and watch and see what's going on and maybe be inspired of it. I think that's the way forward. As I said about the UK athletes, they need to. So I get myself into trouble. We need to kind of pull together and stop throwing rocks at each other and unify behind these kind of athletes as a sport and encourage them and make sure they're getting sponsorship and make sure they're getting access all the way through. These top guys are training with Team GB at their Taekwondo facility.
Yeah.
I want to know but I can understand from somebody outside martial arts doesn't understand why there should be two different facilities for that, because to the uninitiated, it's kicking in it, but they're two different sports, There's an argument here about Taekwondo is karate anyway, but We'll not go there. I'll start a riot.
Is that facility in Manchester? Is that right? And it's facility.
It's a fantastic facility. Remember, Taekwondo's been in the Olympics since '92, Los Angeles '92, I believe.
I was only one then.
I remember watching Perez winning it back then because I'm that old, and I was like, wow, because the techniques and stuff were brilliant, you know. But I just think we need to get our own. We just think we need to pull it together. Karate's big enough and ugly enough to be able to, in the UK, to be strong enough to be able to pull that together.
Yeah.
So I think it needs to be a centre of excellence. For the kata athletes, where the kata athletes going? What are they doing? How are they working? Where's the next generation of kata world champions coming from? That's a kind of concern I have in British karate, because the sport's massive. It's huge. It just seem to be that kind of, I don't know. Maybe it's the government, those that be at government level just don't see the point in wasting the money on tour or whatever. But to have the next generation of athletes, we need to think next generation. And I'm talking competitively. I'm not talking about in your dojo training, you know, just that.
Yeah.
They need to be treated like professionals to be professional. Because we all, how many kids do we know or guys do we know that they get no sponsorship? See, all our guys that are traveling out and going out to these competitions, and the guys that go to Paris and go to Dubai and go travel, they're self-funded.
Yeah,
they're self-funded. You know, they're fundraising, and they're selling football cards, and they're absolutely slogging their guts out so they can afford to go to these competitions and compete at a high standard. Meanwhile, other countries are fully backed by their government.
Yeah,
you know, fully covered by their sports councils in respective countries. So it's really difficult for our guys to compete against that.
Yeah, when we were in
topic what we were discussing, Sean, but it's something I'm quite passionate about. I think I get frustrated when I see. I mean, don't get me wrong, we've got guys that do really well as well, and we want to sponsor them and help them, but they should be getting more. We need to be taken more seriously as a sport.
Yeah,
you know, from the sporting competitive side. And our guys, our top athletes should get the support they get, they deserve. I mean, we've got a boxer in Scotland who did fantastic at the weekend, unified different titles, brought it back to Scotland, you know, and it's an amazing thing. And he will be able to walk down the street. There's world champions and world number ones in Scotland in karate in the different sets. Nobody knows who they are. They work just as hard. They put themselves on the line. The family sacrifice financially, and there's nothing there for them. So when you think these high-level comps, our guys are going out there scrimping and scraping.
Yeah. I think as well, just kind of touching on it, we went to a competition a wee while ago, Eliam in Germany, and we ended up talking to kind of a couple of the Romanian gentlemen. I versed them in the final. I versed him in the first round, and he beat us very, very good. He said he's funded by his government. The Romanian national team are funded, and they get kind of bonuses if they get medals and stuff as well. Just not that money is obviously that, but that doing something you love and then obviously getting supported from it makes a massive difference. You know, you need to fundraise to get tracksuits or whatever as well. That's just crazy.
You're absolutely right. You know, it's just there's so much energy these young athletes have to do, and their families. Their families go without. Now, most of these families aren't well-to-do. They're just people with a job and a house and a mortgage and a car. Who kid happens to be? When I say kid, that could be a young kid up to into their mid-20s who are just talented and deserve a shot, but they're not getting the kind of financial support and professional backing that they should be getting.
Yeah,
and it's very difficult because they're essentially competing in a professional, and I'm using the term quotation because I know it's not a pro circuit. They're competing against professionals who are fully funded. They've got gyms, they've got this, they've got a full structure behind them, nutritionists and all the rest of it. And not just for a 3-week period or a 6-week period. They've got it all the time. And these guys are not. They're just training their heart out at their local gym. You know, they're maybe getting a PT session a couple of times a week to help their cardio and their strength training. And it's difficult for us to compete at that level. The fact that Scotland, and I'm sorry, but I'm saying Scotland here, Mark, you've got plenty of athletes down there as well. But the fact that Scotland punches the way it does is just sheer grit. You know, if we actually had a proper structure, like a professional structure and properly backed, it would be on the map, you know?
Yeah. You feel better now?
It winds me up. It winds me up because you've got like.
I agree.
It winds me up. There's very few people that are in karate who are like very well to do and can travel to these things, and good luck to the ones that are. But most people are just most of these kids are young athletes, are just normal kids. You know, how can they possibly compete at that level without the proper support? And I think the NGBs, etc., what have you, need to pull together, and sport, the national sporting governing bodies need to start taking us more seriously. Now I feel better.
Nah, you touched that. I don't know kind of too much on it, to be fair, but no, I think you made a very valid point. I mean, definitely.
I just yeah, but I mean the competition itself, I enjoyed watching it. It was good, apart from one bit.
Yes, we're getting on it. That was one of the questions also regarding the bunkai or the. They just said the bunkai. To be honest, I kind of just watched. We watched a little bit of it just before we kind of came on air, just to get a little idea. I did watch a little bit, and then I had to go to teach. So yeah, I just watched the community, to be fair. Good, because it was kind of hard to keep up, and because there was separate tatamis running all day, every day. It was a very busy competition, and it was on YouTube. So if anybody's missed it, just go onto YouTube and Euro 2021 Croatia, WKF. It was the seniors championship. So yeah, you can watch every tatami all day for the 3.
I'll tell you about 4 days, but it's like it's like it was like a 3 or 4 day event, and the stream was running for like 9 hours.
Yes. But no, it was good. It was good. The bunkai is tough to watch sometimes. You know, it just depends on where you draw the line to practicality to athleticism, to be honest. So for me, I don't know. We obviously spoke, we're all kind of from a traditional background. So the traditional part of me is like, that looks mince. Absolute mince.
Mince.
Oh. Mince what you saying?
Term, and it's mince. Not a positive one, people.
It looks mince. But then
it's code for something else.
You see the kind of dynamic in the athleticism, and it's impressive, you know, as athletes. But so it's just kind of where I think you just need to take positives from both sides, to be fair.
Why was it bad then? What happened?
You watched it?
That bit at the beginning.
Right, okay. I did my WKF accredited coaches qualification, right? And when we were doing it, don't be like that. Just don't be jealous. Oh my God. And when I did it, the gentleman who was taking it, I won't use his name, he's well known.
Was his name Bob?
He actually went through the WKF kata, the team kata, and was like, please stop making things up.
Yeah.
He was pleading with the coaches, like, you're supposed to interpret the kata. And he put one video in where somebody like 6 feet up in the air as he was blasting somebody else. The karate was blasting somebody else in the face. Incredibly athletic and impressive. He said, show me what kata that's in, please. And also, they're playing dead on the floor after the strike. Will you stop it? And I almost fell off my chair. He went, because when you stay just too long, what happens is the medics do this. The medics are in their chair and they go, is he? Oh, you bugger. And they sit back down again as you get back up into command position. So please stop it. And I watched it at the weekend, and I don't think it needs it. I think Team Kata, I think Mark touched on this before, it's done well, it's athletic, it's awe-inspiring, it's an amazing show of synchronization, athleticism, technique, power, speed. I just think, again, exactly what Sean said, you then sacrifice for aesthetic.
Yeah.
You know, and then, yeah, don't get me wrong, I have seen some great bunkai. And the team eventually went, yeah, that was brilliant. Like, that was good. But a couple of the ones I saw at the weekend were like, people were spinning into the air and flipping and stuff. And I'm like, it was like a Jackie Chan movie. And I'm like, what are you doing?
I just enjoy their facial expressions, as you say.
They do look a bit intense. Yeah, I mean, it is very much
I enjoy
the old 70s Kung Fu movies. You know, the whole sense of, you have disrespected my father, and then they go into the next position, into the next. It's like, Maybe decaf. Maybe decaf. Maybe better for you. But yeah, I've got problems with some of the applications because I disagree with some of the applications. But that's just a perspective thing. But some of the stuff is just stop it. Just
the thing is as well. Obviously, there's different styles of karate competing. It's not just Shotokan. There is other styles. So when you watch it, you might think
styles of karate. Sorry, what?
There's different styles of karate competing. It's not just Shotokan.
How dare you?
What? So obviously when you look at that, just as I said, I think it's impressive. You know, Layla was like, "Wow," my daughter was like, "Wow," and I'm like,
I can do better than that. That's what you said to her, didn't you?
I was like, I can jump higher than that if I jump.
Bob can roast it. Sean, not so much. Bob's superb.
He's just trying to shine.
Yes.
Trying to reach the top.
He's up there on his own.
But yeah, I don't know. I just don't think it needs it. I think, or it needs to be done differently. I do know that they were talking about, the referee was like, we don't want that. That's not what we're looking for.
Oh, right, okay.
But then again, if the referees, if that's what they're shown, they have to flag in what they see.
Yeah.
They have to judge what's put in front of them. It's not what they're looking for. What do you do to disqualify them for it? You know.
I'm glad I'm not judging that because it'd be different. What do you judge?
I couldn't. I'd like to chat. I'd like to see Jamie Gray tie to a chair watching that. It'd be quite funny with his ideas and application. That'd be how you torture information out of Jamie. Just believe. What are they doing? Why are they flipping?
For me, Bunkai was always like closer to the actual kata than you actually had to do the moves of the kata. That's what I thought Bunkai was. Obviously
that is what Bunkai is. That you're absolutely correct. That is what Bunkai is.
I understand there is other versions of it where you kind of think they said the box was still using that kind of
Oyo, etc.
Yeah, Oyo or Oreo. Oyo.
Don't get excited.
I'm hungry.
Again, they're kind of working the concepts. I can understand different techniques coming in, but I was like spinning Urumalash in one, and I'm like,
that's not in any kata.
Where did that come from?
It would be good if anybody out there does compete in WKF kata and does Bunkai. Can you please?
I do not know, and I could be wrong, and please, I am wrong. I don't know anybody in the UK that does it that has a seniors team, male or female.
Is that not because it's only done in the finals and that would require somebody to get to the finals?
We'd like to. Mark and I would like to disavow ourselves from Sean and Bob's statement.
No. Did you not say before we started recording?
The wrong way, but you have to go in with a plan, mate. You can't.
I didn't mean anything.
You can't just do it.
I didn't mean anything.
WKF kata, mate, where you go in and you do one kata, assuming you're going to get rattled out, and then go through and you go, I only know one kata.
That's me.
Yeah, you need. No, you need to have that kind of in your arsenal because it's used in the bronze medal matches and the final.
What do you mean you can't do Keon kata again? It's the only one I know.
I can't repeat.
Although I'm doing really well coming off of Zoom, being able to do katas backwards or opposites, and now trying to do it not opposite is very difficult. Are you guys finding that as well, coming from online? Sorry, kind of sway off. It's still kind of on the kata. No,
I just taught it my way and told them that I'm going to my left. If you don't know your left, then I can't help you.
Oh, what about you, Mark? Did you do it opposite for your guys, or did you just?
Just normal. Normal. Yeah, just back to normal now. Just back to normal. Bye Zoom.
No, but on Zoom,
just getting on with it. I mean, I suppose change the subject slightly, but I think we've been back for a few weeks now. How's your dojos? I mean, I've just had so many inquiries coming through the door. It's just immense. It's nuts.
Yeah.
What about you boys?
Yes, I'm now a full-time receptionist. And Adam. No, it's awesome.
Bob the job.
What?
Give Bob the job.
No.
He won't be here long. He's not thinking about.
I heard he's considering popping
off. I don't think he can rise to the occasion.
It's not Bob that's the problem.
Oh, anyway, no, yeah. So I don't know where to go now.
So smothering Bob. You keep going. Smothering.
Stop rubbing Bob.
Oh. At least I'm getting the slagging today and not Liam. So
I'm loving it. I'm absolutely loving it.
But yeah, today has been a bit off the rails. I'm not stuck to one subject for 5 minutes. But yeah, no, that's good. Anybody, obviously WKFY, just please drop us a wee message in the chat or kind of comments wise. Please let us know. And kind of just touching on what you were saying there, Mark, I'm the same. A lot of inquiries coming in. I stood the other day and started the class, and just a full class at either trialists or white belts. It was pretty much just a new club I've got at the moment, which is great. So which is good. A lot of new people coming in, building up the club and enjoying. And it's just good to be back to face and seeing the kind of smiles on the kids in that face. Obviously, as Glasgow, we're still in tier 3, unfortunately. So I'm not allowed the adults back at the moment, as I know you guys are. So hopefully next week we can get adults back in as well.
No, I'm bouncing.
What?
It's really busy. I'm really busy, which is I've had to, because obviously class restrictions, I've had to put more classes on, so I had to add an extra four sessions for next week to make sure that I can, which is yay, four more hours, yay, of kind of coaching, so that I can accommodate and stay within the legal limits.
Yeah.
So, but it's again, like we said this last week, it's great complaints to have, like, you know, but it's I just long may it continue. I think it's, as you say, it's like some of my classes, it's like I've got a room full of new people that I've never done karate before, and you've got to adjust back.
Yeah.
Because I've not had to do that for a few years where I've like, oh my God, everybody is a beginner. And then you're teaching like really basic Kihon and you're going, am I boring them? If I still get, and they're all looking at you like, I'm like, all right, okay, all right, you know. Because, you know, when you start teaching some things, you'll see your kind of green belts, purple belts going, and then you give them the speech, you're never too good for that. Bend your knee, shut your face, you know. Maybe that's my coaching method. But yeah, it's been nice. I've still got fellow inquiries here today as well, but the weekend
I've got 13 inquiries today.
It's not a competition,
Mark.
Thanks.
That's good. But what's coming up for you guys over the next couple of months? What's happening? What's your plans?
Sean?
Yeah, so I just at the weekend that I had a company in to do to film, to make a kind of professional advert, and it went really, really well.
For karate, I'm hoping.
Yes, for karate.
What you really enjoying today is a lot of tension. A lot of pressure.
No. Yeah, so I had that in at the weekend. The really good company was great. They were great with the kids and the kind of good atmosphere and buzz at the classes at the weekend. So it went really well. So I'm looking forward to take a few weeks, obviously, for them to kind of cut it and make me look good and add it all together and stuff. But might take
Is Bob getting royalties for this? Did Bob make it?
Bob wasn't there at the weekend, but he came out right under my eyelid. You can't see, obviously, but on Friday was when the film started. I actually I was teaching in school for the first time in a year, and over a year on Friday as well. So I woke up.
That would make me break out spots as well, in fairness, mate.
I had teaching in schools. No, it was great. So we're back to kind of active school stuff as well. And I woke up, and I'm not a vain person, but when that big white head just popped up under my eyelid, it was like, great. Time for schools and then time for filming. But it was okay.
Just like, hello, I'm your karate instructor.
Yeah. But no, it's good. Other stuff planned. I know kind of we're looking at kind of running into clubs and stuff and just try to keep the kind of moving forward. But as I said, it's going well. New venues, new guys coming in, get people coming back to training as well, which is going really well. So can't complain. What about yourself, guys?
Mark?
Yeah, I mean, I've got a grading coming up soon. I've got a company coming in as well, as you said, Sean, to take some photos of the club and update the website a little bit, update the social media.
Yeah, I'm going to have to do this.
Well, yeah, you have to.
Not a competition, Liam.
Yeah.
Well, if it is, I'm getting my ass kicked.
Nothing new.
So, yeah, I've got that happening. I've also got 10,000 flyer drop that I'm trying to organise. Not happy about that, really. That was a bit.
That was so funny.
Please, can you elaborate on that, Mark? Please. It was quite.
Yeah, well, I contacted Royal Mail, and I thought it was just as simple as just ordering loads of flyers, paying for them to deliver them, and you just literally get all your flyers, hobble down to the Royal Mail, drop it at the counter, and then they do the rest. But it's not as simple as that. They wanted the £85 collection charge. I'm like, well, why would I pay £85 when Royal Mail's like central hub is only like 2 miles from my house? So yeah, I paid for it all without the collection charge, with the understanding that I was going to just drop these flyers down. The confirmation email come in, and basically, long story short, I've got to weigh these flyers out. I've got to put them in separate boxes, print off these labels, and I've got to take them to Rochester, which is an hour and a half drive from my house.
It's that long.
So, not good. It's just not as easy as I thought. So, anyone planning to do large flyer drops in your area, just bear in mind that you're going to have to take it miles away on a weekday at a certain time. So, and weigh it all out. I haven't got any scales. So, yeah.
Liam, do you want to weigh in on that?
I mean, mine's 10,000. I think yours was 40,000, Liam, wasn't it? And I mean, yours a lot more than mine.
I did pay for it because, against the Scottish stereotype, I'm not that tight. So I paid the £85 for it to come out and pick it up. So, yeah, but we had the problem I had was I didn't have boxes. So my supplier had set out all my flyers, and we had it all set, opened them up. I weighed it, checked it all out, printed all the stuff off, got to write down all the bits and bobs. But we ran out of boxes. So a couple of my instructors went out the box hunt. Right, so this is honestly a farce.
Into the 4 shops that Stuart had.
Well, we then put like, I put like 10,000 flyers in a pedigree chum box, taped it up, put a piece of paper on it, how many it's on, and then I waited for the van to come and get it. Now I thought it would be a post office van or something that was coming to get it. And I went down, and they decided on that day they were digging up the local road. Out of nowhere, they decided they were just digging this entire street up right outside where my venue is. And I was like, I spoke to the phone, like, mate, I know, I'll be fine. I then get a phone call from the driver. They sent an 18-wheeler to collect it. And the guy's like, I can't possibly get in. There's no way for me to get in. So he had to turn up with the wee truck, the handheld thing. So he's had to come down. He's come down, I put it all on a pallet for him. And it's just pedigree chum boxes, Dorito boxes. And the guy's like, what the hell have I picked up here? I'm on the flyers, mate. Sorry, it's the only thing we could get. But it was either that or we had to take it up to Perth. But the guy eventually took it away and they got it distributed. And I had a second lot that went, and they actually let us drop it off near the venue, thankfully. But yeah, that was I just had visions of the people in the depot getting these boxes having to break open, going, what the hell am I dealing with here? Well, so to the people out there, I'm sorry.
For once, I actually might have done the smarter thing out of 2 years. I just got a company, print them and deliver them. Done.
It's not a competition, Sean.
It's not a competition, Sean.
Well, if it is, I won. For once.
You've got to win something, yeah, I suppose.
So I created the flyer, designed it myself, sent it to them, they printed it and delivered it. Not a problem. Done. Not the pedigree chum boxes, not the boxes.
Well, I think using the post office is expensive. I think it's out the realms of most people that run clubs. It's not a cheap way to do it. And I remember I got a company to do it once, and I got a phone call from a guy who ran a restaurant, and he phoned up and went, "You the karate guy?" And I said, "Yes." And he goes, "Well, just to let you know, mate, I've got about 5,000 of your flyers in my bin." So what? And there was much swearing down the phone seconds afterwards, and a refund was forthcoming. But
I suppose that is the risk that you run, though, isn't it? Because there is so many companies online that will do it, but you just, they'll just chuck it in the bin, won't they? How do you know they're going to get out to them? So
I think flying is going the way the dodo anyway. I think that kind of old school marketing is kind of on the way out, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know. From me, I try and kind of cover all bases and do a little bit at a time.
We're giving marketing advice now to instructors out there. Is this what we're doing now?
Just
but anyway, I've got 20 students, so yeah, listen to me.
I've got 6.
Yeah, this is just our general chat now. It's just got to the stage where we're not even talking about anything. This is what we do. We just chat.
Just talk absolute nonsense.
Whatever's an end.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. Good. What about is any of your guys kind of looking forward to kind of competitions this year, or you kind of squad guys back at it?
I've just spoke to my local kind of my PT that I work with. He's got a full complement of coaches, so I've just spoke to him today to arrange. His guys are going to take over the fitness and conditioning side for my squad guys. They're going to do that. So we're getting dates and stuff sorted tomorrow. Again, we don't know where the competitions are going to be. We're planning an inter-club. We've got quite a few members, so we can hire a sports centre for a comp. But you can't get a sports centre just now because they can't give you dates. They can't promise they're going to be open that day, so they're not taking reservations. So you can't really book. Right, we're having a competition on November because you can't get confirmation that you're actually going to have access to sports centre on that day.
Yeah.
So that's a bit of a pain in the butt. But doing that, but I've got a grading on the 27th of June, which will be the biggest grade. We haven't done a grade in 6 months. So that's going to be quite a big one. So that'll be a 9 a.m. till 5 p.m. one. It's a full shift.
On a Sunday, isn't it? 27th Sunday?
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh yeah. I love working.
Mine's on the 26th.
Well, I've got something on the 26th. Or something else on the 26th. But Sundays are always at the dojo, the kind of training days, course days, grading days. That's what they're usually kept for. And when they're not on, I lie and sleep, have a long lie occasionally. But then the competition season will whack back up, and then that's it. But yeah, that's where I've got all the kind of club stuff. I've got a summer camp coming for my kids. Yeah, I've got that set up. That's almost full. So that's kicked off, and I'm actually going to run a second week. And yeah, it's all positive. It's good.
It's good to just hear it. You know, hear everybody's getting inquiries, and we were kind of talking to Sensei Matt Price last week, and he was saying he was talking to other instructors, and it's not just us, and it's good to hear that everybody's kind of coming back, and we're almost getting to that kind of normality again, which is great.
I think normal's still a bit off, but I think but we're open, and I think for everybody I'm speaking to is the same. They're rebuilding and they're doing well.
Yeah.
I think some clubs have not come back. Some clubs are unable to come back. They haven't got venues. They can't get into schools. They can't. So some of these other clubs that have not been fortunate enough to have venues that they've got access to aren't there. So those students are joining clubs that are.
Yeah.
So
I've got that problem now as well. I'm juggling venues now as well, because I kind of hire local council venues, so I'm kind of juggling to kind of, when we went back, we stayed in tier 3, some of my venues were meant to open, they didn't open, so.
Yeah, that was heartbreaking for you. I felt for you that day.
Yeah, but we move forward.
You just don't stop licking each other in Glasgow, whatever the hell you're doing up there. Pack it in. You're licking doorknobs or something. Stop it.
But a bigger
bad Glasgow. Bad. Stop it.
Yeah, no, it's all good.
I want to go up to Glasgow for a weekend and catch up with people and go for food and a beer. I can't.
We don't want you up here. Me and Bob.
We don't want you up here.
Me and Bob said no.
You and Bob aren't invited.
Okay, awesome. Well, guys, is there anything else you would like to kind of finish on? Or
who are we interviewing next week?
We just need to confirm that. We might have a couple of people next week. We just need to confirm time and day.
Cool.
There's quite a few coming up, isn't there, guys? So we've got quite a few to interview. So that was kind of series 1, as it were, of the kind of interviews, as we kind of, these poor people had to suffer us finding our feet doing it. I'm sure, as you've noticed from today, we've still not found our feet. It's still an absolute riot. But we've got another kind of batch of instructors coming up. Some that are maybe well known, some that are not so well known that deserve a bit of spotlight on them when you hear their stories and hear their background. And yeah, so that's and maybe learn from their successes as well and their failures and stuff. That's kind of what this podcast is all about, isn't it? So yeah, there's some cracking ones coming up. I'm getting names chucked at me constantly. Most of them are already on the list.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure how we're going to maybe slow it down during July, and then pick it up. I don't know how people are going away this year, but we'll see. No, I'm not.
I'm not.
Mark's going away somewhere. You told me you were going to win home, Mark.
No, he was meant to.
I'm going away 3 times this year.
Nice.
Okay. That's it.
That's the conversation. Wait, are you scared in case the fans will flock where you're going and be standing outside with their pens and their pads looking for a sitting row, mate? I said at the start, you are the glamour. You are the glamour of this.
Thank you.
Bob's the brains.
No, I look like my nan.
It's looking quite rough today. Is that for the female viewers?
Oh man!
Right, we better back this in, boys. The people at home have probably shut off and logged off about 25 minutes ago. These guys have lost the plot. Are they even sober? We'll finish it there. Thank you very much, as always, for listening. We will. I'm going to put some of the interviews that we've actually had that are on the YouTube channel. What I'm doing is I'm uploading the interviews as they stand without any of our guff around it on the Facebook group and Facebook page, so you've got kind of ready access to it. But please, if you're listening to it on the YouTube channel, please give us a like. Please give us a subscribe. Please give us a wee subscribe. And if you are feeling really generous, give it a share. Bring other people into our misery, and get us involved in that, because most people that watch our channel don't like or subscribe it.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because they don't like it and want to hear it again, which is perfectly reasonable, and I totally understand that. But if you are enjoying the banter, it'd be really kind. All right,
definitely. We should do it with the famous YouTubers. Me and my daughter watch a gamer, and he goes, YouTube has told me that 64% of you unsubscribed.
I saw a guy like that. Like, he's coming round to their house to beat them up. How dare you?
64% of you unsubscribed. And guys, the whole point of this podcast is obviously just to get everybody kind of talking about karate, and we've had people, or the guests from Series 1 came in, different backgrounds, different experiences, different thoughts and opinions, and it's been good. So please continue to like, share, comment.
And if you want to get involved, if you're somebody who goes, I quite fancy telling my story, or these guys are full of nonsense, I'm going to add some common sense to the conversation, please let us know. Don't be shy. I know karate people are really bad at, and I think this is where we fall behind certain other martial arts. I don't know. We're not very good. Sorry, it's a bad cough. We're not very good at advertising ourselves and putting ourselves out there. I don't know. But I think that needs to change. I think for our sport and for our martial art to kind of progress and survive, we need you guys involved in having these conversations and chats and telling your story.
Awesome.
Mark, anything you wish to add?
It was nice listening to you today, Liam. And thank you, Bob. It was nice meeting you too. And everything you said, Liam.
Right, so I want to know how many shots people took during this. In fairness, towards the end of this podcast, the chances are they just started drinking. In fairness, towards the end of this, they probably just went, I've had enough of this nonsense, I'm on the beer. But, I'd like to know how many shots you took. I know how many I'm going to take after this.
To be fair, Mark, there was some comments on when I was asking for questions. Some people were asking about cake, and then it got onto this. It carried on to be something about kebab cakes.
Okay.
I'd like your opinion on some kebab cakes, Mark.
Yeah, I might. It depends what meat they want in their cakes. So yeah.
Mark, tell them what you told me before we started on this. What did you have today?
I think it's perfectly normal what I've done today.
I'm not asking you to justify it. Just tell me what you had today.
I had a kebab last night. Didn't eat it, so I ate the rest today.
But what was your reasoning? Why is it better the second day?
It's just a bit greasier. When he goes white, yeah, it's the Luton. It's what you're doing, Luton. It's the done thing.
I think it's fine. A Chinese always tastes better the next day. I agree. And cut.
I actually don't know what to say to you people. I actually don't know what to say to you.
Okay, thanks
I
very
don't
much.
eat like
On that
that.
note.
Right, okay. Right, thank you very much for joining us today. Thank you for putting up for us just talking nonsense. This is just a general conversation with us, as I'm sure our regular listeners are used to. Although today we got a bit risky, I have to say. We will be back next week with somebody to interview, somebody to add some common sense to the situation. A big thank you to Mark Slattery. You need to speak, dude. We're in Podbean. People are listening to us.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much. To Sean.
Hello.
And to Bob. Thank you, Bob, for your input today. That's the most common sense we've ever had. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, guys. Okay, this is what keeps the channel alive. All right, thanks very much, and we'll see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye. Keep training. Finishing in 3, 2, and 1.